But hello, welcome back. So today I'm doing a collective reading, as I'm sure that you saw by today's title. You know, as I do it, it is a little early. Usually I do these at night, and as you can see from the window, it's a little bright outside. But just because of the way that work has shifted around, I think I'm gonna start doing these like in the mornings as opposed to always doing them in the evenings. I know that's gonna change the attendance numbers, and I'll probably continue to get on in the evenings just to do the readings. And so that way that'll break it up. So I can do the collective reading all at once. And then if anybody wants a personal reading, you can tap in online or find me at my Stan store to book a private. But yeah, we're just gonna get into it. But you know, in order for this reading to resonate with you, we do have to pray together, to be tapped in, to make sure that my ancestor, spirit guides, and angels are speaking to you, your ancestor, spirit guides, and angels. So please find yourself in a nice and relaxed position as I pray that our ancestors, spirit guides, and angels protect our minds, bodies, and spirits as I receive messages from the Most High. My goal is to align us all with healing joy in the most authentic versions of ourselves. And I pray that you bless us with the gift of wisdom, discernment, so that we are able to take empowered action that is in alignment with our highest and greatest good. Ashe. Now with that said, we're just gonna hop right into the reading. Collective reading, collective reading, collective reading. Thank you for dropping those emojis. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so some of us were like over something. Some of us were like over something. But what it really feels like is that it's time to make a decision. We have the Judgment card here, and the Judgment card feels like a decision. It's very funny because I don't see the Ace of Swords, which is usually points to like a definitive decision, or the Justice card, but that's just what this Judgment card feels like. We have the Two of Pentacles next to the Judgment card, and there's this balancing of like, should I do this? Should I do that? Should I go in this direction? Should I go in that direction? And I'm also like intuitively picking up on that this is a day-to-day decision, right? This could be around your habits or your routines, but this is just something that you're doing on a constant and regular basis, right? And the Judgment card is coming through, and the word judgment, right? It's a judgment call. And it's like, it's a mental decision, because I'm getting that there's a lot of like reasoning and balancings of like pros and cons. And it also kind of feels like there's a bit of like decision fatigue, right? With this Four of Cups and the Six of Cups, that sometimes we go back and forth so often that we end up don't making the decision. And because we don't make the decision, we kind of experience decision fatigue, and then we go and follow the easiest option, or the option that we've been the most accustomed to. Does that make sense? That's like, this is just an example, but let's say like, it's like the night before, once you're done cooking dinner, you was like, am I going to pack lunch or make lunch? Right? You decide to make lunch, but then it's like, what am I going to make? It's like, I could put some fruits in there, but now I have to cook something else. If I cook something else, is it going to be quick, or do I have to put it in the oven? You know what I mean? So there's kind of like a lack of preparation as you're trying to make the decision. You're going to be like, forget it. So you just don't end up making the decision. And then the next day comes around, and what you always do is you go pick up some fast food. Right, you end up going to Taco Bell's or McDonald's, or going down to the sushi bar across the street and just picking up something. But the goal is saving money. You know what I mean? And again, that's not what you want to do. You actually do want to save money, right? You actually do want to meal prep, but because there's all this like decision fatigue around it, you know what I mean? That you just don't end up doing it, and you fall into the familiar pattern. You're tired of the familiar pattern. You know that the pattern isn't servicing you. Right? But because changing or pivoting and doing something else actually requires that you become a different person, or you manage your time differently, there's an extra level of work, right? Which is what I'm picking up on. It's not just, okay, I want to start meal prepping, right? It's not just, I'm going to make lunch for tomorrow. It's that in order to do that, you have to go to the beginning. You know what I mean? You have to come up with the grocery list based on a recipe that's going to be easy to cook when it's time to make that lunch for tomorrow. Is this making sense? That's just what I'm picking up on, right? Because whatever this goal is, and it doesn't have to be with this specific example about like coming up with lunch, but the Wheel of Fortune and the King of Pentacles is saying that we kind of need to do this to be prepared for the next stage of our lives or whatever it is that we're trying to manifest, right? The funny thing about this Devil card in reverse, it feels like a little childish. I'm not gonna hold you. Like, I don't even know if these cards are like, I'm not gonna say they're not helping me because they're definitely helping me. But so many of the cards, the energy that I'm picking up, it's not a clear and direct representation, right? Because this Devil card in reverse, this specifically feels like, again, it feels childish. It feels like pouting. It feels like you know what you need to do, but you don't do it, right? And again, there's also this other sense of perfectionism coming through, right? Going back to that example, I know that I have to cook something because there's actually there's levels, right? I need to cook something tonight. Okay, well, what am I going to cook? I don't want to be up all night, right? I want a salad and I want X, Y, and Z. And like I was saying, you have to go through that bit of information to actually discover, okay, then what am I going to buy at the grocery store so that I can do this? Okay, what am I going to buy? I need to go find recipes, right? There's all these steps. It's kind of like getting to the root of it. It's getting to the root of the issue. And so many of us, we don't feel like getting to the root of the issue. And it's not even we don't feel like getting to the root of the issue. It's just by the time it's time to get there, we experience the decision fatigue. Right, my loves? So but the divine is telling me right now that it's just an emotional sacrifice, right? Where did it go? Here it is. The Ace of Cups in reverse, the King of Cups upright. Again, he's all about emotional maturity. And this Ace of Cups in reverse feels like it's coming at a cost. It's coming at a cost of in order to do this and to manage this plan and to satisfy it in an easy and manageable way, I have to sacrifice 2 hours of scrolling on TikTok. I have to sacrifice 2 hours of, watching this television show. I have to sacrifice 2 hours of something that's already in my plan. And the good thing about this is that the divine is just saying that you just have to sacrifice it once, or maybe even 2 or 3 times to come up with the system and the new routine, right? But so many of us, we're afraid of what is it? Scared money don't make money, right? You have to spend money to make more money. And this is kind of something like business owners and entrepreneurs think about, that spending money, you have to do that in order to invest and to grow and to get more out of your business. And in this instance, out of life. Because what I'm actually getting is that this isn't about spending money. The issue with some of us, it's not about spending money. It's about spending our time or spending our emotional freeness, spending our emotional pleasures, right? The things that we like to do that feel good at the end of the day, right? Sometimes we have to lose out on those things in order to pivot and to go elsewhere. Yes, my loves. Let me see what else. What's next? What other information does the divine have for us? If this information is resonating, please consider double tapping the screen, hitting that thumbs up button, and sharing the live session with a friend or two, just so more of these messages can get out. But what's the next part of this message? What else does the Most High want us to know? Thank you. Hello, welcome in, my love. And then some of the same cards are coming out. We got the Ace of Cups in reverse again. So the next thing that's coming through is the divine wants to say it very, very clearly that whatever it is we're trying to grow and we can manifest, we can definitely have it. The divine is also saying that it's already yours. It's yours. It's yours. You get to have it. You know what I mean? Excuse me. But there are just some super easy decisions. Excuse me. Thank you for the gifts. I appreciate it. There are some super easy decisions that need to be made to make these things a reality. Right? And in our minds, again, it's kind of mental. In our minds, it's exhausting. In our minds, oh my gosh, I have to find something to cook. Then I have to pull out the pots and the plants. And then I have to bake. And then I have to cut. And then I have to chop. And then I have to cook. And then I have to put it in storage containers. Right? In our minds, it's so much more exhaustive than what it actually is. This Eight of Pentacles in reverse is saying that, like, we think it's exhaustive, but it's actually not that bad. It's just 1 day or 2 days where we can create a new system, a new way of operating that's going to become our new go-to habit, right? This Four of Wands, which talks about our homes, dates, and adventures, but sometimes our comfort zones. But this new comfort zone that they're talking about building is a healthy comfort zone. This comfort zone that actually feels expansive, right? This King of Wands, this new comfort zone that helps us access new things and incorporate different challenges and experience something else and see other manifestations come through, right? But it's kind of this Fool card in reverse is kind of saying we have to be open. 11 on my clock. We have to be open. There's this openness and this freeness that whatever is going to happen is going to happen. And not just whatever is going to happen is going to happen, but this openness to the domino effect. Right? It's this openness to the domino effect. I have to take the next step, and the next step after that is going to have to take some effort. And the next step after that is going to take some effort. And the step after that is going to take some effort. And we have to be okay with that. Right? And that there's this continuous pushing of effort that's pushing us further and further and further out of our comfort zone, but closer and closer and closer to the thing that we really want to manifest. Yes, my loves? Because there's something about us not seeing the things that we want come in, and there's this hopelessness. Oh, it's not working. Oh, it's a waste of time. Things are never going to change. That's not it. We have to change. You have to change. The way that we engage with these energies and these conversations and these systems have to change in order for our realities to change. Right? Again, I posted this information on my Patreon, and again, if you subscribe at the free tier, you'll have access to this information on my Patreon, because I just uploaded a video about, it was a collective reading on Saturn's transit through the sign of Aries, and this was something that came through, that we kind of have blind spots where we want to do whatever it is that we want to do, but Saturn is coming in and saying, hey, you could do whatever it is that you want to do, but you are missing out on something, right? By not exploring or trying something else, right? But let me get us a clear and concise action plan. But I do want to say, check that video out. Again, if you subscribe to my Patreon, link in my bio, over at my Stan store, stan.store/Mo Online, you'll be able to find my Patreon link and check out that video for free. Can we get an action plan? And I do know that we have a full moon in Sagittarius coming up. That's something else we got to talk about too. Action plan for the collective, please and thank you. Oh, this is so interesting. This, like, it doesn't feel like another reading, but it definitely seems like the energy has taken a pivot. Okay, so some of us are overstimulated, right? Some of us are overstimulated, and some of us are kind of like confusing rest with free time, but free time it's not rest with entertainment, right? True rest is soft. It's easy, right? I'm looking at the Four of Swords right now. It's soft, it's easy, it's relaxing. It's like there's not a bunch of stimuli, right? And the divine is saying we need more of that. That could be going to bed earlier. That could be like limiting your time on social media, or limiting the number of like television shows that you're watching, or limiting the number of people that you're texting, right? There is something about a limit. And the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, again, this feels like that there's a misunderstanding about like what rest is or what a break is. Or even, I'm going to say, this is something I would definitely look into, the different kinds of rest. Because sometimes we need spiritual rest, we need physical rest, we need social rest, right? Our body needs rest. Our minds need rest. And there's a bunch of different kind of rest that I feel like we need to lay into, right? But as I was saying, it feels like the appropriate amount of rest, it's going to give us more bang for our buck, right? 9 of Pentacles, 10 of Wands. There's nothing like these energies, there's nothing about them that's like really like near and dear. But the way that they're close to each other, this 9 of Pentacles is urging us to rest and to take it easy and to chill. And I'm hearing to just do less. Back to what I was saying about that entertainment, right? I want to go watch TV. And this isn't a call to not watch TV. This is a call to watch 1 hour of TV instead of 3. And then take 1 hour to just lay in the bed and rest. Just lay your head down. You know, you don't have to read. You don't have to talk to nobody. And it's really giving meditation. Maybe even breathing. Maybe just a power nap. Right? But this Queen of Pentacles and this 10 of Wands, it feels like that sometimes we're telling ourselves, hey, I'm going to take a break. And then we go scroll on social media for 3 hours, and that's kind of overstimulating. That kind of overwhelms our mental systems and our nervous systems. So yes, my body is resting, and I don't feel like I'm quote unquote being productive, but my brain, my eyes, and my mind, they're still doing all this processing work that isn't helping us. Yeah, 7 of Pentacles. This is going to be different for all of us, but if you can journal, I'm going to get us some journaling prompts. If you can journal and figure out what it is for you, I think that would be very, very helpful. Yeah. After that, we have the Lover's card. Was this in reverse or upright? Did I flip it? It feels like it's supposed to be in reverse. Honestly, this just feels like a misunderstanding. Right, the Lover's card in reverse, the 7 of Swords in reverse, the Page of Cups in reverse. It feels like a misunderstanding because usually when we see the Lover's card in reverse, this is failure to make a decision or failure to take advice from the Most High. What I'm picking up on is that like, it's not that we don't want to take the advice of the Most High. It's that like we're kind of like, no tea, no shade. Some of us, we're kind of like making it convenient for us. We're kind of like bending the rules. Right? Page of Cups in reverse, immature. 7 of Swords in reverse, kind of like omitting information. Right? This feels like if the divine tells you to break up with that boy, it's like, okay, I broke up with him, but we can still be friends. Come on now. It's like the divine told you to stop smoking cigarettes. It's like, okay, I stopped smoking cigarettes, but then you just started smoking. Then you just started gardening when you were smoking cigarettes. You know, like, come on now. Let's cut the excuses. It's like the divine told you to take a break. And it's like, okay. And you go take a break. But your break is you being overstimulated with your cell phone. You feel me? Now you can do that. You can do whatever it is you want to do. But let's just be clear. The divine wants me to get a few more cards before we move on to the oracle cards. What else? How would you like to elaborate onto this message? Please and thank you. And I agree. I'm not going to hold you. I'm in the same boat. One thing about me, once I'm done brushing my teeth, washing my face, and I done wrapped up work and closed down my laptop and all my cameras and whoop-de-whoop-wop, whatever, I be laying down in that bed scrolling on my phone for hours. Hours. What else would you like to add? Yes. These feels like the takeaway messages. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, so one thing that I'm getting, what is it? It's a Beyonce song. When you hurt me, you hurt yourself. Don't hurt yourself. What's that? Hold up. Right? With the 7 of Swords, the Ace of Swords, and the Moon card in reverse, what some of us were trying to do in the shadows, the shortcuts that some of us are trying to take, They just end up hurting ourselves in the long run, right? And to be fair, some of us, we don't know that we're doing it. And the divine is saying it's okay that you don't know that you're doing it, but you still need to make the attempt. Some of us, we don't want to make the attempt. Again, going back to that original example of like, you know, not wanting to buy lunch and wanting to make lunch the night before, right? The Temperance card, it's taking it easy. It's step by step. It's bit by step. It's bit by bit, and it's a learning opportunity along the way. Right, so you may not be able to go to the root cause of, you know, finding recipes and coming up with the what is it? With the grocery list based on the recipes that you're gonna make, right? But the first step might just be going in there and spending 90 minutes to cook something. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, it's not fun. But in doing that, you learn, you know, this actually isn't a good recipe to have for lunch, right? These fruits and these veggies, they're gonna be soggy by tomorrow. So when you go looking for recipes, you're not gonna add in no lettuce. You're not gonna add in no bok choy, because you know you like soggy things, right? The Temperance card is about testing and tempering in just a little bit, not the whole shebang, but just a little bit. And you pour a little bit and a little bit and a little bit until you get the perfect amount. The perfect amount. But we have to be patient. We have to be kind. We have to be virtuous. And we have to be courageous to get there. Yes? Okay. I'm going to get us some love notes from the universe. And then I'm gonna get us some journaling prompts. Okay, they don't want to get too much today, it seems like. Can we get an oracle card? They want me to get this one. Can we get another oracle card, please? Girl, these lo-fi beats, this playlist, they be mumbling in the back sometimes, and they always be catching me off guard. Did y'all hear that? Talking about, come on. What is this? Who is that? Okay, and the second oracle card is gonna be from Love Notes from the Universe. Okay, I'm gonna start with this one. I'm gonna start with our journaling card. Okay, so first up, we have I Remember, Soul Plan, the Fated Life versus the Destiny Life. Do you remember when we fell in love? If I didn't remember. Anyway, there was a moment before you knew. You were a little too loud. There was a moment before you were born when you chose the conditions of the life you're living right now. When you plotted out these exact moments along the timeline of your life. You will live in a world of free will, and therefore, these moments become our destiny only through saying yes. The fated life is the one we were born into. The destiny life is the one that our soul chooses. And it takes courage and faith, again, those virtues. If you pulled this card, it's because you're likely now face to face with the choice to follow your destiny life over the fated life. To trust the path of your soul is calling you forward. And to remember that this moment was prearranged on your life's timeline. You may find yourself at a crossroads, at a moment when you're being called to make a decision, to keep walking the perfectly laid out path before you, or to choose the one less traveled. You may be facing a change of career, a new relationship, a difficult decision, or something else that requires courage and faith. You're being invited to remember your soul's greater plan and to surrender to it. When you're confronted with the path that's undefined, it's normal for doubt to rear its head. In fact, this is a certain sign that you're facing your soul's greater plan. Every hero in his or her life journey comes eye to eye with doubt. The only way around it is through it. It's all a part of the larger plan. And then the soul, seed, star, inquiry. What are you being called to do to surrender to your soul's plan? So this is beautiful, right? And then I feel like if maybe you got that off the bat, but I feel like this one does need a little bit of clarification over the fated life and the destiny life, right? Your soul created your destiny, what you're destined to do and what you're destined to accomplish. The fated life, I feel like it's more tied to the physical realm. You know what I mean? Society, structures, right? Capitalism, patriarchy, all that good stuff. When you come into the fated life, they say you're fated to do this because this is who you are and these are the circumstances you're born into, right? And there's a mix between the two happening at all times, and that every decision that we take is moving us closer and closer and closer to the destiny life, or it's keeping us into this fated life, being another statistic or so. This could just be the way that I'm receiving it. Again, if it don't apply, let it fly. But right now it feels like the divine is urging us to take those decisions that will bring us closer to our soul's destiny with courage and with faith, with the what is it? With the will, with the strength of willpower, with the willpower. Again, I felt I got to go create a reading, a piece of content about the strength card and the temperance card that's coming to me right now. But, the willpower that comes with following our destinies and doing the things that are big, that are bold, that come with a little bit of a emotional and energetic sacrifice, but that actually pays off in the long term. Yeah? Okay. Moving on to love notes from the universe. Love doesn't have to mean near. Some are better loved at a distance, for a while anyway, and that's okay. Besides, love doesn't really know the difference. Tally ho, the universe. Yeah. So I don't know if somebody's dealing with a long distance relationship or something I'm kind of getting right now is that, again, that destiny life we're talking about, if your dreams that you love, the aspirations that are embedded into your heart, they don't have to be in your near reality. They don't have to be, in your immediate sight line of vision in order for them to be important to you and on their way. Change is always good. Again, there's that thing that courage, doing something differently, taking the small itty bitty risk that's going to get you closer and closer and closer to what it is you're trying to manifest. Actually, the only effective way of changing another person is by changing yourself. Works every time, guaranteed. Though I'm kind of impartial to the way you are right now. Tally ho, the universe. Again, so I don't know if those changes for you, those things you're trying to manifest, include, another person. But this is just another call from the divine that we have to change ourselves to change our physical realities and the things that we see in the world around us. And that message has been coming through quite often with a lot of the readings I've been doing, right? That in order to, our world is constantly mirroring us, right? The things that we see in our physical realities, it's in part because of who we are, right? And if we want to change something or see a different reality or experience something new or different, right? That change, it's going to start with us. And it might not be immediate. Again, there's an energetic reverberation, but once we change our energies, the things that we're reverberating off of and energies are bouncing back to us with, those things then change. Yes, my loves? Okay. That's all I have. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. Please thank your ancestors, spirit guides, and angels for allowing me to deliver these messages to you. Again, don't forget to check out my website, stanstore.com/Mo Online to get a personal reading, or to check out my Patreon to get more information about Saturn's transit through Aries. Yeah, my loves. But that's all I have for you. Yeah. And I'll talk to y'all later. Let me ring the bell. I'll holla. Okay.